Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Kiana Miller from HMO Sports Podcast, and we're here bringing you our Tuesday edition, talking questions from fans. We're talking takeaways from this Week 1 season. So, again, we don't want to overreact to Week 1, but we want to react to Week 1 and give you guys some good content, talk about things you should be looking out for, things that maybe are concerning, and go from there. So we're each going to go around, talk about our different takeaways. We're going to start off with Chance, and he's going to give you his two takeaways from Week 1 of the NFL season.
Yeah, I mean, starting off with the famous quote, they are who we thought they were. And to go off of that, there's a few people and few teams that they are who we thought they were. We're going to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs. They ain't changed much. The only thing that changes, they swapped Juju Smith-Schuster out for Tyreek Hill. Yeah, that top over-the-top threat's gone, but, I mean, you still got Andy Reid, one of the best offensive minds in all of NFL history, coaching Patrick Mahomes, who – say what you want about him. He's got one of the liveliest arms as well in the current NFL. So Chiefs, not much of a drop off, if any. Looks like they're still. I don't think they got better either. I think they are exactly who we thought they were. Moving on from there, Broncos and Cowboys. Sorry, but I mean your fan bases. I don't get it. Every year they think that their team will win the Super Bowl, no matter what their roster looks like. And undisputedly, the Cowboys roster got worse this year. The Broncos roster got better, but Russell Wilson, I'm with Richard Sherman, his ex-teammate on this. He's not a Hall of Famer. Show us something that you can do by yourself. I mean, he got carried by an all-time defense, the Legion of Boom. Like, if you have a nickname for your defense, you're an all-time defense. They carried him to the Super Bowl and got his Super win. And he lost a Super Bowl more than he won a Super Bowl. So, going off of that, those are my takeaways from the Week 1.
I totally agree with you, specifically on the Denver and the Cowboys take. So, just for our viewers out there, all three of us, even though we're located all across the country right now, at some point in our life have lived in Colorado, all at separate times actually, but in Colorado. And Denver Broncos fans are some of the most delusional fans that I've ever been around. So I was actually there when they beat the Panthers in 2015, won the Super Bowl. So yeah, I mean, congratulations, good on them. But outside of that 1 year, it's like they've got this team that's just dynastic, that's won 7 of the last 8 Super Bowls, and it's just, oh yeah, we're for sure winning again. They're terrible. Like, Denver fans are delusional. If you're a viewer and you love Denver, I'm just telling you how it is, all right? They're delusional, so totally with you on that.
Facts. And
Jace, what are your
I think
takeaways?
Russell Wilson is super overrated, and I said that in our previous videos, and I'll keep saying that. But going into my takeaways, I'm starting off with a segment I like to call "Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen" because we had some crazy names dropping on the points this week around. You had Tom Brady, you had Aaron Rodgers, you had Matthew Stafford, you had CeeDee Lamb, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and that list goes on. I mean, it was wild. I personally had Derrick Henry as my very first draft, and he got me a whopping 8 points. But with that being said, as Kiana said in the beginning, don't don't I guess judge too hard on week 1. We don't want to overreact, but we do want to react. And so, I mean, most of these guys, I would say, start them again. And if they don't prove themselves, I mean, that could become a concern. But right now, you're not going to get high trade capital if they're coming off a terrible gameplay, coming off very few points. So I would say don't even worry about it. Play them again. See how this next week treats them. See how the different matchups treat them, and see now that they have a game under their belt if it was just shaking off the rust. The other thing I want to point out is these new boys. And when I say new boys, I mean the guys debuting. Some of the debuts we had that were huge was AJ Brown. Man, he looked like Jalen Hurts' #1 target. He was getting points up the wazoo. You had Tyreek making his debut. No surprise there that he's getting points. Some of these other ones, you had Michael Thomas, Juju, Smith-Schuster, Devontae Adams, and Julio Jones. I mean, Julio I added on the list. He didn't get a whopping ton of points, but it did seem like he was a solid target, and with them being down another receiver, he could get some more points. So those are some guys that I would be looking at. But yeah.
Hey, yeah, I just want to go off of that. Just one thing real quick. I mean, as a Bucs fan, I was hearing in camp that that Julio Jones is who he used to be, and he's back to that original self. I don't know if he's quite there because original Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons, prime Julio Jones is a freak, but he's definitely not the Julio Jones that he was the last 3 years with that hamstring injury. Didn't look like he was hindered at all. He was actually the 5th fastest player clocked in week 1 out of all the players. So he's got his speed back and his burst back, it looks like.
So I did actually want to ask you guys, because I mentioned him in my first bit. Matthew Stafford, quickly turn the conversation to that. Is there concern over his elbow? Do you think that this was a fluke game? Do you think that this was like what we're gonna be kind of seeing? I mean, obviously he is playing good defense, but what do you guys think?
I mean, not to go
I
ahead.
okay, so I'm a little concerned about the elbow, but Matthew Stafford is known for playing through injury and playing well through injury. I mean, I think he had a like fractured spine at one point in his career, and he played through that. So, I mean, guy plays through everything, so he's super tough. I think that this will be hopefully one of his worst games. Maybe not the worst, but one of his worst games of the season. Um, I think his biggest problem wasn't necessarily his arm strength stemming from the elbow injury. I think it was he was only looking at Cooper Kupp, and that was
Yeah.
it. Like he threw him the ball only, and Cooper Kupp's a great player.
They
But
can't.
I was watching the game. I think most people were watching the game. He had other guys open. Allen Robinson specifically was open multiple times. He wasn't even looking his way. So towards the end of the game, if you watch, the other receivers outside of Kupp kind of got lazy with their routes because they weren't getting the ball. So that's more my concern is that Stafford keys on Kupp too much. So
Agreed.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm with that. I think there's a few things. I don't want to overreact too hard because they did play the Super Bowl favorites this year, the Buffalo Bills, and yeah, they looked good, especially in that second half, shut them down, scored a lot of points. But I think the Rams detrimented by losing Kevin O'Connell to the Vikings, and it looked like the Vikings benefit greatly from that. Their offense didn't look as fluid and as unique, and had those schemes to allow more than just Cooper Kupp to get open. Um, yeah, his offensive line looks like it's a little weaker than last year, of course. His elbow, I think it is a little bit of a concern because he was not throwing the ball downfield at all. Um, so, yeah, other than that, I'll just leave it there. Kyle, let's hear your reaction
Yeah.
for the week.
Yeah, I got two. The first one, and this is coming fresh off Monday night, so I was even going to say it before that, but I'm glad it happened. Offensive coordinators that become head coaches should give up play calling duties. That's my biggest takeaway from week one. So I would talk about two specifically, right? And that they did the opposite things. Brian Daboll, he was the offensive coordinator for Buffalo Bills, got a lot of credit for turning Josh Allen to what he is now. He's the head coach now of the New York Giants. And he was asked at the beginning of the year if he's going to call plays. And he said, nope. He's going to turn over play calling duties to his offensive coordinator. His job is to run the team. And his team played, fairly well, especially for the Giants. And they won a game late because he decided to go for it on two, but didn't call play. He just made the decision, the head coach decision, go for it on two. And they won. And overall, their offense actually looked good. They looked dynamic. They didn't look micromanaged. Giants had a good game. And then you look on the other side, and you look at the Denver Broncos with Nathaniel Hackett. So Nathaniel Hackett shouldn't be calling the plays. He's the head coach. Like I don't care how good a play caller you are. You shouldn't really be, especially if it's your first time as a head coach, you shouldn't be calling plays. I think your focus isn't where it needs to be. And the Broncos offense looked anything but dynamic. They looked pretty pathetic, pretty pedestrian. I don't even think people would argue roster to roster that the Giants have a better roster than the Broncos, specifically on offense. But week one, it sure looked like they did based on how they were moving the ball against a much better team, might I add, than a Seahawks team without Jamal Adams after the first quarter and a half. So, yeah, takeaway number one for me, offensive coordinators to become head coaches, you need to find somebody you trust and give up play calling duties. You can, have that influence on the offense, but you shouldn't make that your primary focus where you're calling plays instead of running the game. And then my second takeaway is, and I said this before the season, so hopefully you guys listen to me and you didn't draft any San Francisco 49ers running backs, because I don't care who it is. The takeaway is San Francisco running backs always get hurt. I don't know if it's the trainers in San Francisco. I don't know if it's the scheme, the Kyle Shanahan scheme. I have no idea what it is. But no 49ers running back that starts the season can stay healthy. I can't think of one in the last 4 years that stayed healthy and gave a full year's production or even close to full year's production. So, yeah, takeaway two right there. Stay away from 49ers running backs as long as Kyle Shanahan's the coach. I'm not blaming the dude. I'm just saying that it seems like those running backs can't get through half a season. And now we got Elijah Mitchell hurt game one, so stay away from those guys.
That's why I picked up Debo. I mean, he is the running threat, especially now. So I think he can get some solid points with their starting running back out.
Good stuff. All right, we're going to turn our focus now away from our takeaways from week one. We're going to look ahead, way ahead actually, and we're going to give you our projections for who wins each division and again, this is only one game in the season, so if you guys think we're crazy, let us know. For every one of these that we get like wrong, you got a chance to earn some cash. So holler at us in the comments or on Twitter or on Instagram. Tell us if you think we're wrong, and you got a chance at us paying your league dues to make up for us blowing stuff. So Chanson and Jace, we'll start off in the AFC East. So Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Patriots. Who do you guys think wins that division?
I mean, this is probably one of the easier ones. I think it's the Bills, and then right behind it will be the Dolphins, and Patriots and Jets. It'll probably end up Patriots then Jets to round out 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely the Jets.
Jason?
No, I'm just kidding. Definitely the Bills. Just without a question. I don't think that there's any argument here. I think it's the Bills.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to say Miami. I like what they're doing down there, but I think they're a year early. I'm going to stick with the Bills here.
I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the Bills win the AFC East. I have a heart. I really do want to pick Miami, but I'm going to stick with the Bills just because they've shown over the past couple of years that they're ready right now to win the Super Bowl. So
if Miami was in any other division, I might take them as the lead there, the number one.
All right, moving on to the AFC West, we got the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Broncos. Who do you guys got winning that? I'll start off. I think the Chiefs. I guess I saw people like Colin Cowherd. Oh, Broncos going to win the division. Like I don't know.
Dumbest
again
of this season so far is that
they must have some super good, drugs down there in Denver, or maybe they're going up to Boulder because we know how that is. But people are smoking something that's giving them, cloudy thoughts. I got the Chiefs pretty easily, actually, even after watching the Chargers Raiders. I like the Raiders, but I think the Chiefs win that division, especially because it doesn't seem like there's any focus on them. All the pressure's on the Bills this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Actually, I love the Chargers, and their defense definitely upgraded. But I mean, there is that they already have an injury to one of their key offensive weapons, Keenan Allen. Yeah, he'll only be out 2 weeks, but guess who they play within that 2 weeks? The Chiefs. They play them this Thursday night, so that's already a split game series right there. So you can't lose those games. I think the Chiefs still will hold on to that division reign. Chargers will be close, maybe a game, 2 at the most behind them.
So I'm split between everybody but the Broncos, but I'm going to go with Chargers just because I think they have, I guess, the fewest weak points. But yeah, I mean it's close. I want to say the Chiefs as well, but in a decision here, I'm just going to go with Chargers.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers not only didn't win the division but didn't make the playoffs. I think that people are a little too high on them. We haven't seen it yet. They didn't even make the playoffs last year, and some people are picking them to go to the Super Bowl. So kind of nuts to me. But I don't hate the Chargers. I just don't. I got to see something before I start believing it. So all right, AFC North: Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. Jace, who do you got winning that division?
Bengals. I think they're the strongest. I don't have much faith in the Browns for sure, but I think Bengals with their new offensive line and I guess the targets that they have is just too lethal of a combination on offense.
Chanson.
I'm actually going to go with the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are looking really good. I think the Bengals look sloppy in the first game, which, it's an overreaction to week 1. Steelers already have their best player, TJ Watt's out for 6 weeks probably. Browns, they're the Browns. They're not going to take first place in that division anytime soon. So I'm going to go Ravens this year.
Now I'm going Steelers. So all three of us different. I really like the Steelers. I like what they have. I obviously TJ Watt's a huge part of their team, but I don't think he's the team. So give me the Steelers to win that division. In Mike Tomlin, I trust.
Yeah.
Okay, AFC South: Texans, Colts, Titans, Jaguars.
If this division could just not make the playoffs, that would benefit anyone. But since it's most likely going to be the Colts, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm split between Colts and Titans. I was going to go with Titans. I think they just have some strong, heavy hitters, but it's too inconsistent, so I don't know. I kind of want to say Colts, but I'm going with Titans.
I am going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think T-Law is going to break out. I think that the longer he's with Doug Peterson, it's going to be better for him. Trayvon Walker looked awesome. He had a sack. He had a pick as the number one guy. So give me the Jags, but this division's trash, like Chanson said. So
win a game, and 2 of them played each other in week 1.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, moving on to the NFC, which is what I care more about, even though the AFC is more competitive. NFC East, the NFC least. We got Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys. I'm going to go with Eagles. That was my pick before the season began. That's pick before Dak Prescott got hurt. I don't care. Cowboys aren't good. Giants, I like Dayball, what he's doing down there, but they're at least a year or two away from competing. Commanders, just they're like mediocre at best. So give me the Eagles to win that
Yeah,
division.
I'm
Jace, what do you
also
think?
going to Eagles. You might be concerned because of the close points, I guess, with the Lions. But Aaron Glenn there with his defense, he got to do a lot of crazy stuff with pretty much all backups last year. And so now that he has some starters, especially some big showouts like Malcolm Rodriguez and Aiden Hudson, I think that they actually had a good run for their money and they performed well. Jalen Hurts performed very well. Chanson, what do you think?
Um, I mean, it's a trend actually in the NFC East that there has not been a back-to-back division win in that division for I think close to 10 years actually at this point. So that being said, it's not going to be the Cowboys. It's going to be the Eagles. We're all in agreement on this. So just best roster overall.
Okay. Now, shockingly, we're going to move on to the NFC West. Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, Niners. Seahawks are the only one that won their week one game. So who do you guys have winning that division?
I think the Rams are eventually going to figure it out, and I think they will be in first place by the season end.
Yeah, definitely not the Seahawks for me. I was split between Cardinals and Rams, but I'm also going Rams. So
I'll go Rams as well, but I think this division will be way worse as a whole than people anticipated at the beginning of the year. Okay, NFC North. We got the Vikings, we got the Bears, the Lions, and the Packers. I think Vikings pretty easily actually win this division. I think they'll win the division by 2+ games. I don't think it's really going to be close. They'll have it locked up going into Week 16. And yeah, I think the Packers at best finished third. I think the Lions might sneak in there at number 2. So, Jace, what are you thinking about the North?
yes, I want to say the Lions just because I'm a Lions fan, but that's just unrealistic. I think they're on their way. Give them a year to get a better quarterback probably, and they'll be there. But they're going to be number 2, so I'm going with Vikings number 1 as well.
Yeah, I think the Vikings as well. Just one quick thing I want to say about this division. I think everyone has momentum in that division except for the Packers. I think the Lions are feeling good about their week one performance. I think the Bears obviously felt really good about their week one performance. And the Vikings, man, they were looking good.
The Packers have negative momentum. They're
Yep.
on their way down.
Yeah, when you do all watch too
Uh,
much.
When Aaron Rodgers hates all his teammates and they're all afraid to make any mistakes, bad things happen. So, yeah. NFC South, Saints, Bucks, Panthers, Falcons. I'll start here, guys. Give me the Carolina Panthers. And I think if they fired Matt Rule today, that I'd actually increase the likelihood I chose the Panthers. But I like what I saw in the second half from the Panthers. There's a problem with Baker Mayfield in the first half because guess what? Matt Rule decided to give half the first team snaps to freaking Sam Darnold. So I think as the season goes on, Baker's going to get more comfortable. I like the Panthers kind of sneaking in there and getting to the top of that division. Jace.
Listen, I'm very split on this division. I think they're all probably solid sevens. They're not clear winners, but they're not clear losers. I think Panthers on the same track as the Lions. But for this season and probably this season alone, I'm going to give it to the Buccaneers moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, right here, Buccaneers fan. I think the Buccaneers will win this division. I think they will win it eventually pretty handily as well. If we can just get through those freaking annoying Saints, then we'll definitely be on our way.
Okay, good stuff. All right, we're going to shoot over rapid fire mailbag questions from our fans. So first question here, will CeeDee Lamb ever live up to the hype? And that's from at Dallas Bowie with an I 616. So thanks for the question. Will CeeDee Lamb ever live up to the hype? I'll answer that one. And no, I've been off CeeDee Lamb train before it even left the tracks. I don't like CeeDee Lamb as a player. He's not an alpha. He's an okay wide receiver 2 on your team. He's a great wide receiver 3, but he's not a wide receiver 1. So no, he's not going to live up to the hype.
Definitely
Chanson,
not this year.
Chanson, question for you coming from Kurt McGirt Bingham. Is there any waiver people you'd spend your free agent auction bucks on this week?
At the moment, no. I would hold them. Week one, still getting the feels out, so I don't think you need to overreact too fast.
Okay, Jace, last questions for you from LL1132 Bean. Should league members be able to veto trades in fantasy leagues?
I think that the commissioner should be able to put it up for veto, but I think the commissioner should be the one determining if it's hey, let me alley-oop this person, or if it's like a legitimate trade. And then the veto should start.
Okay, I'm going to hard disagree with you here. Vetoing should never be allowed in any situation ever. There should just be a league commissioner override, but only for blatant collusion when money's involved. But that's it. Like, nothing short of that. It has to be obvious collusion when money's involved. You got to let people manage their teams. It's part of the fun of fantasy football. So stay out the way. Don't veto trades. Don't be that guy. Don't be a loser.
Checks and balances, though. I mean, commissioner,
Well,
they can put it up for vote. They're the one who decides, and then checks and balances.
yeah, if you want to be in a boring league, then I guess have Jace freaking commission it. So, all right, that's all we got. Thanks for writing us questions. We're going to be answering them every week. You can look forward to our content. Look at Jace for the tight ends and quarterback. Start him, sit him every week. Me for the receiver, start him, sit him every week. And Chanson for the running back, start him, sit him every week. We're happy bringing you content. Like we said, hit us in the comments always. We're just handing out cash. We're handing out jerseys. We're running our fantasy league. You'll see the results every week from our fantasy league that we're giving out jerseys for. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think we can improve on and when we're wrong. And as always, when in doubt, hear me out.